Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Atar.
Hi, welcome to Great Mother Speaks. I'm Tammy Taylor, inner work life coach and inventor of the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. I want to talk to you a little bit about this Virgo Libra full moon. It is a super moon occurring on the 20th. It's a build up. It's a huge build up. If you remember the new moon, Great Mother came through and she said that it was balsamic moon energy, and to kind of sit on that energy, let what needs to be downloaded, the opportunity to be downloaded for this entire lunar cycle, including this full moon, which is climatic in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. Great Mother is not limited or confined to human convention. And we have some very ancient traditions that say every new moon is a new seed. However, based on the astrology, the energies are shifting so that this transition into what is traditionally a new year is really more than that. It's a new phase of regrounded soul inscription on the planet. It's really that deep. Now, those of you who may not know, Great Mother is the Holy Spirit, the still small voice, our intuition, the part of us, that yin energy, that primal yin energy that is spirit, and it is soul as we know it vibrationally from this ego body. We use the Vedic astrology here with Great Mother Speaks and in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck that uses chakras to align with that soul energy. And so that's why it is indeed a Virgo Libra moon. It's Virgo in the sidereal, in the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni, which is about relationships, which is about connecting, which is about devotion, a very devotional energy to a fault, in fact. But the Libra energy is what I want you to really be aware of at this particular time, as in the Western astrology, this ancient tradition through that astrology has to do with the seeding. I want you to get something really straight about this. And it's really important because in that new moon reading, I also said that moving forward with these readings, I'm going to be more specific with regard to your lunar sign and where it is in terms of its healing of mama drama trauma, which is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma in cases where she's unable, unavailable, unwilling to heal her own MDT, because it is a cycle. Loving detachment is required, and that is my area of specialization. I am an inner life coach that works with these inner emotional issues to release the emotions of shame, blame, and guilt, which perpetuate this cycle. This is actually conditioned to and through us as we incubate in our mother's womb and as she raises us with the same type of conditioning framework of MDT. To let you know how this deck came about through my inner work, I could not sustain clientele based on my own personal story of healing MDT. I had to get in touch with Great Mother and ask for a tool to assist people coming from various backgrounds and various experiences with mama drama trauma. You want to know more about it? Look at the links below, the definitions of MDT, the telltale signs of MDT, to see whether or not you have it. But for those of you who are subscribers and that have been working with me over a period of time, you know that this emotional energy is what has to be released, because that is what is associated with the mother and how we regard our relationship with our mother, as opposed to understanding it's a soul relationship. In the soul astrology, we have just left the Cancer North Node, Capricorn South Node, and now we're in Sagittarius South Node, Gemini North Node. That means for the prior 2.5 years on a soul level, the planet has been addressing issues of our old way of developing our maternal relationships. Our maternal relationships have to do with our feelings of belonging. And specifically here, what Great Mother is speaking to us about is not only just the home or with the mother, but it has to do with, from that conditioning, that maternal conditioning, how we develop our boundaries in our relationships. And boundaries are important because they let ourselves, first and foremost, be clear about who we are, what's important to us, what's okay, what's not okay, what we like, what we don't like, so that we can communicate those things clearly to others. When we don't communicate those things clearly to others, people don't trust us, and we don't trust ourselves to make good decisions. So it's really important that those boundaries are associated with an understanding of what those original maternal relationships are about. That feeling like you belong. Now, if you don't feel like you belong, and you know that you have mama drama trauma, that's where Great Mother comes in, because it's not about the emotional connection to our birth mother that connects us to the healing process of releasing shame, blame, and guilt. It's connecting to Great Mother, the mother of all mothers, that yin energy within. So you'll see that through your Vedic sign, which is always mentioned before your Western sign, in 24 degrees in precession to it, in fact, that is where your soul is downloading information from energetically. So for example, on this full moon, energetically, we are all, through the collective consciousness, getting downloads from Virgo energy. This energy that's reorganizing, that's specifying, that's inquiring about exactly what is going on with regard to what we're committing ourselves to, what we feel is worthy of our devotion, and what we want to work towards in terms of our responsibilities, in terms of our accountability, what it is in life that is worth our being accountable for and being accountable to. And typically, for most human beings, it is in our relationships to one another. What keeps us committed, what keeps us grounded, what keeps us responsible is that we like it. It means something to us. It's not just okay, it's something that feels good. It all goes back to boundaries, feeling whether or not we belong, feeling that on a soul level we're sharing our gifts, talents, and abilities, that healing energy of Virgo, the daily life of Virgo, working that out with the 3Ds, disputes, debts, okay, and diseases, how we're balancing our health with regard to living according to this soul wisdom. This full moon is coming to a climax. And emotionally, downloading that through the filter of Libra energy is bringing us right into how we're connecting with one another. I want to let you know that as we move forward with these readings, I'm going directly to the cards, to the signs and symbols. But that doesn't mean that the specifics and the astrology is any less important. These introductions are still quite important. However, I want you to know spiral spectrum is the hippest ephemeris on the planet, according to the Western astrology. But it's very colorful, and it allows you to go through each sign, through each cycle, through each transit that occurs in a way that is understanding to you and for you. As you can see, for the year 2019, I collaborated in creating the lunar phase of the definitions, the lunar portion of the definitions. And as you see here with the definition of Virgo, and for the definition of Libra. And so these are the energies that we're working with. These are the energies that we are bringing to the fore. If you're interested in learning more about how to work with the lunar energies, check out the link below. To purchase the calendar, simply go to greatmotherspeaks.info and scroll down to where you see the cosmic calendar to get your copy for this exciting remainder of 2019. As we continue with this year, Great Mother, Father God will continue to activate this emerging cycle into releasing our old structures around our mother, around nurturing, around compassion, around feeling understood and feeling cared for. there's a restructuring of how this is working. And July 2nd, the total solar eclipse, and we're going to have another eclipse at the end of the year in December. These energies are going to really nourish what you're planting during this illustrious season of Virgo Libra. It's coming to climax, and so it's not necessarily seeding an intention in terms of a wish, but it's seeding conscious awareness of what you have downloaded thus far, so that the next full moon, as we move into that Aries new moon, you can culminate your wishes in a way that is respective to what you know. Now, for your Virgo Libra full moon readings. Virgo Libra moon sign people, your significator card is the Sphinx card, facing the challenge. It's throat chakra energy, and so your Virgo is your sidereal, your soul moon sign, which is ruled by Mercury, which rules the throat chakra. So this is really significant for you. It is the significator card. It is the center of your spread. This is saying that for this full moon, what's coming up for you literally is that there is a huge challenge with regard to this first house energy that you need to face, or that you have been facing. And that this challenge specifically has to do with you consciously recognizing that you need to use your intuition in this situation. You need to trust your intuition. You need to allow your emotions to take a seat for a minute, because what's happening is that you are very angry about this situation. You're extremely upset about it, and it's not that you need to suppress the anger. It's not that at all. It's really, in fact, that is the challenge of acknowledging that you are angry. That's the challenge. The challenge is admitting that you are angry, that you are feeling really frustrated with your situation with your mother, that you are feeling unprotected, that you are feeling like there's more that she could do, that she is indeed able, that she could be willing, that she could, in fact, make herself more available to you in this healing process. You've probably tried to talk to her about this, for example, but what Great Mother's coming through and she's saying is that there's a spiritual rebirth that's going on with you, because you're starting to see how this pattern of mama drama trauma is playing out in your personal and professional relationships. It's the same dynamic. It's the same disregard for your feelings. It's the same issues around you not being good enough, or you not doing what you need to do to make her happy. You are not fulfilling, in other words, what you've been assigned, the responsibilities that you've been assigned. And as children of mama drama trauma, including your mother and your mother's mother, we are conditioned to believe that we are responsible for our mother's happiness. We're responsible for her life turning out the way that she wants to. Remember, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. That kind of old adage, which is a falsehood that the Aquarian age is proving to be false. And although we won't properly be in it for about another 250 years, those of us who are the harbingers of it, including those of you who watch Great Mother Speaks and you are consciously and awarely working with your internal energy to help the planet energetically make this transition, you're doing it from within. And so there's a great frustration about that. And what's bringing up this frustration, what's bringing up this rage is this awakening to this sense of how your immediate environment is not supporting you in the way that you expect. But remember, the universe, just like our cosmic calculus, our planetary placements, the configurations, the aspects in our chart, very unique. We just focus on, the moon and a little bit of the nodes here with regard to mama drama trauma. But in a personal reading, we go deeper into exactly what's happening with you and what's going on. And generally, this gut chakra energy is Martian energy. And right now, Mars is in your 9th house. This is Sagittarian energy. And Sagittarius is the south node in the Vedic astrology. And so you're releasing a lot of old ways that you used to feel about how your relationship with your mother needed to be, including you expecting her to change, you imposing your expectations on her now, just like she's imposed them on you. You are wanting her to heal herself, to change, to be what she is not. Remember, the healing of mama drama trauma is all about letting go of the mother that we want in order to accept the one that we have. And so this full moon, Virgo, remember, is detail oriented, and it's going through and it's recalibrating and it's reassessing the reality of the situation. And that is not the mother that you have. This 9th house energy is also bringing in issues of your biological father. So there may be issues related to there being some rage with regard to him being responsible for her happiness and him not fulfilling your expectations that you have for him, or that he's the source of her unhappiness, but she's projecting it onto you. There's something with regard to that the soul is ready to let go of with that Sagittarius in the south node in the Vedic astrology right now. And so this long distance inner travel, okay, with the Western astrology, 9th house energy, we're talking about outer travel in the physical world, or being an actual teacher of sorts. But with 9th house energy in the inner world, we're talking about inner long distance travel. And so this is the soul contract of mama drama trauma. The soul contract, that soul relationship to our mother, which is not the ego relationship of expectations, but the soul relationship of gratitude for having a soul to incarnate with us that loves us enough to assist us in coercing the evolution and self-love and spiritual independence that we need. Now, in your shadow position with regard to that is self-creation. So you don't realize that on a soul level, you are recreating yourself. This is second chakra energy. Second chakra is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your 3rd house right now. So the immediate environs, your friends, your neighbors, your siblings, for example, that is the part of that kind of rebirth that you're going through with your siblings. In fact, maybe you are coming to the realization that this is the mother that I have. I cannot change her. She's unwilling. She's unable. She's unavailable. She may have transitioned through death, and I'm going to have to create myself. This is waxing gibbous energy. So this revising, this editing, this coming up to a realization that things need to change in order for there to be a full manifestation of who I truly am. 3rd house energy also has to do with issues regarding to your shoulders, your hands, maybe cervical issues. So since we're talking about the shadow position with regard to Jupiter and cervical issues, maybe someone is dealing with doing tests right now for cervical cancer or following up on issues of uterine fibroids. This is shadow energy. And remember, our health conditions revise as our inner life goes through transition and revises. That is the healing process, internally and outwardly. Everything's in the spiritual realm before it's manifested materially. So an incentive to doing that internal work, that 3rd house work, that recreation of those personal and professional relationships is a spiritual rebirth that you're undergoing with this Uranus in your 8th house now in Aries Taurus. This 8th house energy, there will be a lot of sudden changes and a lot of sudden releases. And so maybe some of you have lost a sibling recently. You may have lost a father recently. During this particular lunar cycle, or it is coming to a climax during this lunar cycle emotionally for you, those losses. So facing a challenge and making that decision to face the challenge around rage about that is a lot of waxing gibbous energy, a lot of revision energy that is being brought up by this awakening. You are awakening to a reality that you did not know before. This Martian energy in your ninth house, knowing what you know on this soul level. Now, what is assisting you with the rage at this particular point is Baba Yaga energy. Baba Yaga is the Slavic goddess of the wild woman. Wild woman energy is some of the most powerful feminine divine energy on the planet because it allows us to go into that animus, that active energy, that masculine energy with abandon. It allows that yin energy to be fully expressed, to be fully spoken. This is throat chakra energy, to be fully spoken with a sense of true accountability, of true awareness and responsibility. This is in the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni, this Virgo full moon in the Vedic. And so Virgo is throat chakra energy. It's ruled by Mercury. Again, you have this throat chakra energy as your significator. And so there's something that needs to be spoken, Virgo, Libra, moon sign people, something that you need to speak that has to do with entering this dark night of the soul for you. This is new moon energy. So if you have followed up from the new moon reading and you did allow this lunar season to start off as more of a fallow season of download for you, you are downloading a lot that may be, in fact, extremely upsetting. And that's why there's a resistance to working with Great Mother energy a lot of times because of the fear around what will come. But remember, the demons lead us into the dark night. And what are the demons? The demons are our fears, not having a heart, not having a brain, not having the courage, being fearful. The demons lead us into the dark forest to get the broom, to take our power back. But the angels, in the form of the reclaiming of our heart, the reclaiming of our mind, the reclaiming of our courage, those angels lead us out of the dark night. So what's assisting you with this rage is those demons of fear that you have. That is what has brought this awakening to you, that you are upset. You've been upset for a while. This is root chakra, waxing gibbous energy. Root chakra is Capricorn Aquarius energy. We've been at a Capricorn Aquarius energy for at least a month. That could be it. 2 months actually, looking at the Vedic and the Western astrology, but coming out of that Saturnal energy is one thing with regard to that, but it's a whole nother thing when you're talking about your personal chart. And I have a sense that a lot of you in your personal chart have placements with Capricorn aspects that indicate that you've been dealing with this either chronically or for a very long time, and you're just now becoming aware of this rage about your mother not doing her own inner work and this falling on you to do. The present status of your ego soul alignment is personal power. Now, you're realizing that you do, in fact, have the power to use those ruby red shoes, to walk in those ruby red shoes, your birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. You're realizing that although this is upsetting, although you're just allowing this truth to come through to you, that by rebirthing, by letting aspects of your personal and professional relationships, how you've done them in the past, based on that conditioning, by letting that go and allowing yourself to be reborn in new ways and investing your emotional energies in relationships in new ways that are more healthy, that's a sense of personal power with that Mars in the 9th house. Establishing relationships based on what you now know, truly supports a feeling of being nourished, of feeling cared for, feeling that compassion. It's unique to you. You're not adhering to an old script of what was told to you, but you are reflecting on this period of time that you've been upset about not being protected, not being cared for. Root chakra is ruled by Saturn. Saturn has been bringing this to your attention for quite some time. I'm getting an image of Saturn in Virgos, Saturn in Leo in the sidereal, and you for the past 7 years or so, just coming out of a very challenging period right before that. And so that's why I'm kind of like 7 years this has been, but you are realizing this. The ego is realizing that, hey, I do have the power to make my own decisions going forward. The soul is in alignment with that, with Mars and Sagittarius, that higher mind, that 9th house energy. And why you want to do this work at this particular time is because you want to be purified. You're carrying all this emotional weight. Heart chakra is a crossroads between the ego and the soul, and you're wanting to be purified. You're wanting to be cleansed. You're wanting to detox the shame, the blame, and the guilt. It's just too much. That's why it's so challenging. But then that's why something needs to be spoken from your heart. All of that has come up from the ego, all of that rage, filtering and being purified now through your heart is going to allow you to speak those things in a way that you haven't done before. That's what this full moon is bringing up for you. This kind of awareness, this kind of conscious approach in sitting with the rage so that you can sift out the bounty, the gems of it, in ways that you connect with people in new ways, and that you begin the self-healing through maybe some performing arts, through maybe some acquaintances in your immediate environment that you haven't really paid attention to, cousins, friends, neighbors that have invited you to things, but because you've been so caught up in this, you haven't really done it. And that's why the fibroids have festered, through that anger. That's why you're testing with Cancer, through working through that energy of anger and frustration and those blockages to that creative center where we have that Jupiter energy. Remember, Jupiter right now is in your 3rd house. And so you have an abundance of resources and people who are there to support you. And you also have an abundance of communication. And so this reading is letting you know that it's time to purify that communication in ways that cultivate and rebirth new personal and professional relationships. It wants to do that. Your soul wants to do that by owning its beauty. There's a beauty in your dark night of the soul right now. Virgo, Libra, moon sign people, this is your full moon. It's a beautiful super moon. It's the 5th in a line of 5 super moon, in a line of 5 full moons, okay, that have been in the Western astrology in 0 degrees. And so you are being reborn. You're the 5th one and the 3rd super moon in that succession. So this is not an exaggeration. This new soul imprint on the planet with this Cancer North Node, and it's just leaving the Vedic astrology into the Sagittarius. It's just left that same nodal position of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by what? The moon. And so the collective consciousness is moving toward maternal energy, the feminine energy. This energy for you is definitely 10th house energy. And so you're moving toward this new dharma, this new life purpose. You're moving toward a successful approach to how you look at your boundaries, how you are leaving mama drama trauma behind, and where you actually feel like you belong. Because You've developed new competencies. You've developed new internal skills. And it's just a matter of you recognizing that. It's a matter of you owning that with this soul chakra, throat chakra energy ruled by Mercury. And where's Mercury right now? But in your 7th house of personal and professional relationships. Remember, these relationships in the 7th house always deal with contracts. And with internal work, we're talking chakras, we're talking Vedic, we're talking soul astrology, your Virgo moon sign, we're talking soul contracts. So the MDT soul contract, you are being urged to own your beauty with regard to that. By doing this work, this full moon, Great Mother says, you will be reborn. You will be releasing death, okay? Your South Node is in the 4th house, okay? And so that's maternal energy. That's feeling at home. In the Western astrology, it includes real estate. But we're talking about Vedic astrology, so we're talking about that sense of belonging, that sense of, how you used to feel like you belong. You needed the buy-in. You needed the confirmation from others that everything was okay, particularly from your mother and her willingness to heal MDT. But now you're realizing that whether she is or not, you have to release that so that you can move forward with your life purpose beyond MDT. That's what Great Mother has to say to you for this Virgo Libra full moon. Your full moon reading is to face the challenge of doing that. And remember, the entire cosmos supports you specifically in this way. If you would like to know more specifics with regard to your birth chart and specific issues related to this reading or any issues that you have for Great Mother, please feel free to contact me at greatmotherspeaks.info for a more detailed personal reading. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.